The annoying position we're going to be talking about is this one. So let's just make a few moves just to, okay, let's say e4 and then c5 and then knight f6, d3, right? So you want to play something like this, and then they play c4, and it's annoying because you don't know how to ever get the center. Let's go on a few moves. d6, let's go a few moves like knight, bishop e2, bishop g6. You want to put the bishop in fianchetto. This diagonal is excellent because white doesn't control any dark squares in the center. Castle, bishop g7, knight c3, castle. So all very normal. And now this is the moment where you don't know how to break through. Right, so this is the move. Now I'm going to play only black moves just to see what the plan is, right? So only black moves. Knight e8, knight c7, rook b8 to play a6 and b5 to undermine the control of the square c4. And now knight e6 with the idea of going knight d4 and taking the bishop. Knight takes back. Black now can take the pawn in c4. If white had taken with the queen, well, bishop g4 just wins, because then you're going to play knight d4. So now we're going back to that position. The reason is that we have to, of course, move for white as well. So after d6, as we said, so this is the structure we're going to be using. g6 and then castle, bishop g7 and knight c3 and castle. So we're back at that position, and we mentioned the whole plan. Now we're going to play a bunch of white moves. But of course, if white plays something else, then you're going to have to dismiss the plan and go with something else. But now you know how to deal with this specific pawn structure. So let's say a normal move like bishop to f4, you play knight to e8. This is the best move. And then what else? Well, white can never play d4 because it's attacked 3 times. That's why bishop in g7, fianchetto bishop is crucial. Knight e6, as we mentioned already, white just doesn't have that move available because the b2 pawn is not a poisoned pawn. You can just take it and retreat the bishop. e5 cannot push either. There's too much control. The bishop is a bit silly. So what? Okay, queen d2 looks like a normal move. You want to place these two on this diagonal going to h6. Well, now this is the moment to play e5. So here now the plan changes, because after bishop to h6, it looks like we have now the same silly pawn structure as our opponent, but here something changes. It's f5. It's important to understand that black doesn't have a knight in f6. It's rather in e8. So the f file is open. And if bishop takes bishop, well, of course we take back. But now we have a plan of pushing the f4 pawn. And you might be wondering, well, how did we undermine the control of the square d5 that white had? Well, it's not a problem, because if white goes with the knight to the square d5, you just need to remember that this knight is doing nothing. It's not threatening anything. So here it was white to move. White's best move, according to the engine, is to take the pawn in f5 to stop us from going to f4, where we will enjoy the rest of the endgame with much more space. So after taking in f5, the problem of reverse pyramid pawn structure has been solved. Now you can take back with the pawn in order to enjoy the open files here. The king is completely safe. The dark square bishop is not there anymore. And black's plan now is to play f4 once again. You basically just don't worry about the knight ever landing in d5 because it does nothing from there. And yeah, it's not like black is completely winning or anything. There's a small advantage for black, but now you know how to deal with that annoying Marocchi pawn structure.